All right. Good evening, everyone. You are at the meeting of the Clean Energy Commission on Wednesday, June 29th at 6 p.m. And let me start by reading the announcement that we read before all Zoom meetings. This meeting is recorded by video and audio in accordance with state open meeting law. Pursuant to Section 20 of Chapter 20 of the Acts of 2021, this meeting will be conducted by remote participation. Additionally, all votes taken by the Clean Energy Commission during this and future remote meetings will be by roll call vote. Persons who wish to view are invited at GLOUCER.MA-GOV or ZOOM.us/J/81884250732 or join by phone at 1-301-715-8592. And the meeting ID is 8188-425-0732. This is a special meeting to continue our discussion and review of the city's Climate Action and Resilience Plan, which is abbreviated as CARP. And we are not taking up other business tonight in order to devote ourselves to this meeting. And so all other topics will be postponed to our next meeting, which will probably be a July date, but we have not set the date yet. So let me open up and offer the floor to Gemma, who will help lead us through the first item on the agenda, which is a letter from the CEC to introduce the CARP to the City Council and Mayor. Gemma, the floor is yours.
Sorry, Gemma.
Yep.
Sorry to interrupt, but I had my hand raised there.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right. I just wanted to ask, is there any members of the public on the call as well?
There's currently no members of the public on the call.
Thank you.
Okay. Sometimes they sign in as we go along. But thank you for reminding us, Bob. We do need to check that, particularly at the end of the meeting, to be sure that there aren't questions and comments. Okay, Gemma.
Yes, so I sent you all the updated draft. So mostly what that included was the edits that you all had discussed at the previous Clean Energy Commission meeting. But it also included on page 3, at the last meeting, you had asked if I could draft up some kind of message from the Clean Energy Commission. So, you know, the hope is that this will be sort of a way for you all to introduce this plan and what you hope the public will get out of it. So, you know, I'd love to just hear your comments and can make changes right now. I can even put it up on the screen about if you think it reflects that. So I'll share my screen.
Start out with just 2 short thoughts once you get that up there. And one is in the first paragraph, at the end of the first paragraph, you said greener choices accessible to all residents. And I think you might have meant accessible as in ACCESSIBLE. So that would be one point that I wanted to bring to your attention. And then the other one is in the first sentence, I wondered about adding another phrase to mention the climate aspects of this wonderful CARP plan. At the moment it reads, as a commission, it has been our vision that the city of Gloucester can adapt and transition into the coming clean energy future. And I wanted to add something like, and do our part to reduce the severity of climate change, or something along those lines. It just seems to me that to just say clean energy is to omit an important reference.
Isn't that what the word is? I read that as, I would take that and put it after adapt. because, you know, to me, the expression adapt means climate change adaptation. And that's
Okay.
sort of what,
Yeah, that would work fine
you know,
for me
so if you
too.
just put that clarifying clause after adapt, you know, adapt to the
To climate
the
change.
potential impacts of climate change and transition to the clean energy future. You know, that sort of hits them both.
Yep, it does. I think the only question in my mind is that when you adapt to climate change, you're not necessarily, you know, also acting to prevent it or reduce
Yeah,
it.
well, I would argue that all we're going to be doing right now is adapting to it because it's already happening.
Mhm.
Maybe
Well-
and mitigate.
Yeah.
That's
Adapt
good.
and mitigate.
Yeah,
that's what we've
yeah, that
been
makes
doing all
sense.
along.
Adapt to and mitigate
Yeah.
climate
Mhm.
change and
Transition.
and
to climate.
transition into the coming. Is
Yeah.
that, if that's okay, that sounds good to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then the next sentence, I would delete the possessive families
Me
money.
too. That was my comment. It always is families, and what about individuals?
Yeah.
Don't have,
Hmm.
families? There's an awful lot of those.
Residents, there you go,
Yeah, residents, very nice.
or taxpayers.
Oh, we've got all our residents.
Yep,
Constituents.
Good
I mean,
points.
Yeah, we could pull it
Well,
out.
if you-
Leave it.
And if you put in residents, you have to put the possessive after it.
Well, are we saving money? We're not saving their money. We're helping residents to reduce costs.
Maybe
Yeah.
maybe it should be save.
Yeah.
Save residents
Save
money.
residents
Just save
money.
money, yeah.
Yeah,
Keep it simple.
and
And
protecting our.
protect.
So what do we mean by vital resources and infrastructure? Specifically,
Well, maybe someday we're talking about a battery system for a microgrid, right?
Mhm.
Here.
We're talking about not having our water treatment plant flooding.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Mhm.
I mean, I think that's the idea, is what we have. We don't want to have it, you know, destroyed.
I think that the plan certainly elaborates on both of those terms. But I don't know that this is the place to list all of the possible
Right.
resources or.
I think it's
infrastructure.
intentionally and necessarily broad.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it reads
I
well.
agree.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We
And-
certainly can name those sorts of things, but we don't need to.
right?
Comes to mind.
And then the next sentence, this plan builds on the ongoing efforts of the Clean Energy Commission and the city to switch.
To cleaner energy resources.
Are we literally doing a switch, or are we?
Utilize more cleaner energy sources.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's good.
yeah,
Or transition.
Transition.
yeah, those are all good, because we want to emphasize that it's a phased approach. It's not gonna scare people into an overnight, situation.
So
Um,
what about transition to?
Transition.
It's already in there.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like it. Yep.
develop access to
that's
renewables.
good. And one other tiny thing, which is in the second paragraph, the third to the last line, we say Gloucester's essential and vibrant service community, comma, robust network of climate activists. Should that be a robust network of climate activists, or,
No.
just robust climate, robust network? You think an
I
A
think
should
it
be in
could-
there?
it could-
I sort of
could go
wanted
either
an
way.
A in there for some reason, unless I misunderstood the parallelness
Yeah.
of those phrases.
It could go either way, I think.
Yeah,
Surface.
Well, Gemma, I kind of defer that one to you, whatever reads
Maybe
the clearest.
I think we could put an A. For both network of climate engaging people and most importantly. Yeah, I think that makes
That
sense.
reads well. Yeah.
Okay,
Fine.
very good. Now that's all I had. Anybody else for any other comments?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, Linda?
And we may have now discussed it, but in the first paragraph, the last line where we talk about switch, do we change switch?
Transition.
Transition to cleaner energy sources, develop access to renewables. And I added protect or defend our natural resources.
Okay.
So the only thing I would say, I wanted to be a little careful because I think this plan is a little broader than what the Clean Energy Commission usually has a mandate to work on. So I was trying to walk that line. I don't know how you all feel about that. 'Cause
Okay,
I
even
think
though
it's true
natural,
that the plan does include that, but the work of the Clean Energy Commission is a little bit more focused specifically on the energy side of this.
I
Oh, yeah,
absolutely agree with that.
me
okay.
too. Yeah.
And then I had in the second paragraph, 1, 2, 3, the fourth, the end of the third line where it says are the foundation for the CARP's goals. I think there should be a comma.
Oh, yeah. You're right.
Foundation for the CARP's goals.
Comma,
yes.
actions, comma, and strategies.
Okay,
strategy.
and then the last. Protecting climate. Well, I guess you don't have to, it's a matter of semantics. My last line, in the last paragraph, I put climate action will take the entire community, period. We encourage everyone to continue to advocate, but
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
Good
agree.
point.
Yeah. And one other thing that I would just like to offer, we talked about the plan. I think a capital P on the plan would carry it. Yeah. You might want to do a search, Gemma, and get plan.
Yes, I can do that. Wait, I'm gonna just
Capitalize it because we're talking about a particular plan.
Yeah. Yeah.
And since we were talking about that sentence, since we just made climate action will take the entire communities, maybe this is, again, I don't want to be too verbose there, but like climate action will take the entire community as a sentence on its own. Maybe we say something climate action will require engagement from the entire community or something rather than just kind of take the entire community,
Hmm.
I agree.
And you know what? Climate action doesn't have to have the entire community either. I mean, we can all do something. So, I mean, maybe.
Well, I think it's the phrase is trying to empower people, right? And but I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
the
no, but
entire
it should
community
Just,
involved.
Yeah.
Have to
Yeah.
involve
It's
the
to-
entire community.
Engaged, maybe?
yeah,
Yeah, engage the entire community would be good, I think. We encourage everyone to
must
continue to.
engage. It should be must engage.
Say that again, Linda?
No,
Require the entire
no,
community
no,
to be
No,
engaged.
yeah.
Okay. Then it
Okay.
doesn't need to engage.
Gemma, I just want to say great job,
thank you, Gemma.
marshaling us.
Yes. No, I think
All right.
it's a good, strong paragraph. So
Good.
good to have it there.
So are we all set with this then? We can go to the next thing?
I think
Pull the
so.
trigger, let's go.
Yep.
All right.
Hey,
So, and I
don't-
think this is a second agenda item, actually, Candace.
Yeah.
If you just wanna-
Okay, so now we're going to move on to Gloucester's Climate Action and Resilience Plan, CARP, second draft review. And I have downloaded the pages and have them in front of me, so onward we go.
So basically, Van and Francelis and Greg and I have been working to incorporate your comments and suggestions, and continuing to drill down and make sure that everything and fine tune everything in this plan. So we sent it back to you, and we'd like to make sure that the changes that you had spoke about are reflected in this particular version. So I think I'll just I don't think this should be a very long conversation because, most of what's in here you've already seen. But I think I will just scroll through each section and quickly check to see if anyone has anything. I did, Bob, get your comments ahead of time, and I put some notes. So a lot of them I just incorporated because they were spelling or commas and things like that. But I put some notes on the ones that you will probably want to bring up here. But so I'm hoping we can kind of move through this pretty quickly, but I think I'm just going to go through the sections. So I'll start.
Gemma, can I ask one quick question about the index?
Yes, yeah.
You dropped from the index the message from the CEC that was formerly page 4, the acknowledgements, and the executive summary that you showed as page 7 previously. And I wondered if that was intentional, because those things come before the index page, or whether we should reference those in this version as well.
Yeah, I think it's your preference if you'd like it to be before, but I did take them out because I wanted to put the 2 letters and the acknowledgements page kind of as like a prefix to the whole plan, and then you come to the table of contents. But
Okay,
Yeah.
I
that's
think
generally
if
how
you
we
prefer it
do.
the other way.
yeah, I
we
just
can
wanted to be sure it
work
was
that.
intentional.
Yes, it was.
Okay, that's fine with me.
Shama, just 2 quick points. One is I'm going to have to leave the meeting today at 6:30, so I wanted to just cover the point I was most concerned about. We don't have to discuss it, but I'd like to just bring it up. And then the other thing is, are you going to put a table of contents in as well?
That's what that.
Yes, so
Oh,
that's.
I'm sorry.
contents here.
I'm sorry, an index?
No, it's,
Yes.
it's called table of contents, isn't it? Am I seeing things?
Well, this is a table of contents, but I'm asking if she's going to include an index.
Oh, index, okay.
I misspoke, sorry.
We haven't included an index. We included a glossary of terms at the end, which we haven't actually added yet, but we'll add that before we get to the
If it's
final version.
easily done, I'm lexicographically oriented. I really go through things in lists and in alphabetical and numeric sequences, that sort of stuff. So I use it as a shorthand way to jump into areas that I'm particularly concerned about. So if it isn't a consensus on the committee to do that, that's fine with me. I just would say that if it's easily done, I always find it to be an additional helpful thing.
That would be an index of topics, Bob,
Yeah,
where
terms,
you'll
terms
find.
and top. Yeah, terms
okay.
and topics. So I could go right to the thing that says bicycle or bike or something like that.
Mhm.
You know?
So
I-
I'll ask Van about that. So I will say that we are budget wise, we are
Yeah,
at the
that might be
very end of
labor-intensive,
the
yeah.
budget for MAPC.
Yeah.
But I will certainly, I think if this is fair, I can ask Dan, what time
Yeah.
that they actually have to work on this, and if she thinks that it's doable and it's not, maybe there's some tools in Word to be able to do that.
Yeah, I wouldn't put much time into Gemma. I can silly, if people want to go find something, they can search for a term. So I suppose it's kind of an old fashioned thing that I
Okay.
asked for. So
All right, so that's great. Gemma, could you just scroll back up the paragraph right above your table of content? Because I just went to the website for the Office of Energy and Environmental Affairs. If you keep going up regarding, it was the municipal vulnerability. There's no apostrophe in the Office of Energy and Environmental Affairs. I just went to the website to double check that, so.
A little happy with the apostrophes. I don't know.
And then Annisquam Village, I don't know why that's underlined. Maybe that's misspelled.
It's not misspelled, but it's just not, probably in Microsoft's
Recognized?
dictionary.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good,
right.
good.
So you can just learn plus on it if you have Word.
All right, terrific. That's the only thing that I saw through here.
Doesn't a word search, just a word find, does that not work in this document when it's done?
Yes, it probably will.
I mean, to me, the index sounds like,
I agree that I was backing up on that, Linda. You're right.
okay, that's good.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking that is a way that
Yep.
people looking online can find.
You are correct. You are
I
correct.
really like that graphic. That's really nice with the years.
So it just, the other topic I wanted to get in here before I leave is just for consideration, folks. I think it's M9. I just wanted to get one fishing related thing as a priority attention. And it's as much a political thing as anything else. So I just wanted to put it out for your consideration. It's just, there's no other priority that's related to fishing. As far as I know, there are definitely strategies, but there's no other priority related to fishing. So I just want to put that out there more from, an inclusion type of perspective than anything else.
Would your
So what I-
suggestion, oh, sorry.
Yeah, my suggestion would be to up the number of priorities above this strategy list and include that as the least priority of the set, just so we have one prioritized fishing community thing.
And so your suggestion would be to put it in here as M6 and shift everything else down.
No, there's one above it, right? There's the section, remember we put the priorities above and then we put the strategies below, right? So you see how M4 is above there? At the top of this mobility section, it'll say there are 3 priorities, I think, right? Whatever it was, M1, M2, M4,
Five.
whatever it is.
There's 5 mobility.
Yes, actually,
Okay.
these are
All right.
swapped.
So what I'm proposing is that we put up that there are 6 priorities, and the 6th one is the fishing community one. That's all.
And that's under mobility, Bob, because you're thinking in terms of efficient fishing fleet boats.
Well, I just found M9 as a mobility option strategy.
Mm,
So that's why I put it there. I did not choose that. It could have been infrastructure as far as I was concerned.
mhm.
It could have been energy, it could be any of those things too. But I was just trying to minimize, impact of change here. That's all.
Well, I completely share your sense that, it's important to have in our plan things that will tell the fishing industry that we are thinking about
Yes.
them and their welfare
Yes.
as part of
that's-
all of this. And I guess this is
that's-
as good a place to salute that as any.
I agree.
That's,
So the only thing I would mention is, I think at this point, with the limited time we have left with MAPC, we don't have time to do specifically a blueprint. So these that we have a blueprint for, but, like we've said, all of these strategies come from the community and have been recognized as something that people would like to see. I wonder if it would make sense to move this one up higher on the list, say to being number 6 on here. And I would also mention again that we have a harbor plan going on, and we had talked about potentially putting together some kind of little memo from the Clean Energy Commission that we could pass on to the Harbor Planning Committee. And that would probably, instead of, I think in terms of the utility of these little implementation steps, something like that would have a greater utility anyways, because the Harbor Plan Committee is working really closely on these issues versus what, we're doing.
What's funny is that when I read through the plan, I was really impressed with how well the fishing industry was incorporated. And I thought something must have been changed pretty well to have it highlighted as much as it is. Not necessarily under the strategies, but it certainly has been addressed and commented on some places in the plan. So I didn't feel like it was missing. I felt like it was, oh, good, there it is. And I felt like it had gotten added, but maybe I just noticed.
yeah, I was just thinking about it, Linda, just solely as a priority, but I think Gemma's idea is very acceptable to me. And I think it's better than trying to shoehorn it back into this right here. So I would endorse what Gemma just suggested.
That we leave this alone and instead make sure that there's some mention of, efficient fishing boats in the harbor plan.
Yeah,
Yes,
I thought there
that's
was.
it.
I'm saying-
That's it.
Yeah, I thought that was in this plan, but maybe I misunderstood. I saw the thing about the harbor plan and fishing.
Well, at the moment on the screen that's in front of us,
Yeah, not
M9,
right.
I-
no,
M9
Gemma's doing
says-
some cutting and pasting as we go, so let's, so the issue is really getting this link to the harbor plan so that there's
Yes.
cross-pollination between this effort
Yes.
and the fishing industry. Great.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Does
Absolutely.
that need to be spelled out here by linking with the harbor plan?
That's not for this section here. That's for something if you want to have a throwaway sentence in the introduction or the executive summary, about that sort of stuff,
Mhm.
but not.
It's already
not in the
there.
weeds.
Really,
I agree with Linda. I remember reading about it.
yeah, it's already done.
So fine, let's move on then.
Yeah, good, okay.
Yeah, we did add a section about the harbor plan, and I think we can
Yes.
follow up with you all with a memo to them. I think
Right.
that's going to be the more effective,
It shows up more.
Mhm.
way of
Great.
trying to incorporate that.
Good
Um,
suggestion. Thank you.
So, okay, I'm trying to just bring us back on track. So I would say if there's any comments, I didn't actually see any comments of yours, Bob, I think on these beginning pieces. And there wasn't a whole lot of changes we made to them. So I'll just give a quick,
Oh,
Yeah, can we
I
go
do
back to
have
where we were?
page, how do you want to do this? Can we stop at a page if you have a comment?
Can we go back to where we
Uh,
were and keep going page by page?
I don't want to go through page by page, but I'm going to go section by section. So right now I'm in that beginning section before the strategies section. So if there's anything in those beginning sections
There is.
before we get into strategies.
I have something on page 16.
Yeah, go
And
back.
it's just a nit. But the word percent, are you on page 16?
Yeah, Linda, you picked up on it. Yep, I saw that too.
Yeah, it's constant, it keeps being separated
It's
per.
one word. It needs to be one word.
Right, that's all. Like I said, it's a nit, but there is,
Correct.
I have a major question on this. So it's under environmental justice communities. It's my page 16.
Equity, environmental justice communities.
Yeah, okay.
They make up
Oh.
25, it's everywhere. 25% was somewhere else.
Yeah, right below
Oh,
it.
Yeah, but that it appears in a couple different places, the term
I would
25%.
search and, no, percent is one word, yeah. I would just search and replace.
Yeah,
I can do
percent.
that after
All right.
for all of them.
Now, I do have a question, and maybe I missed it the last time, and that is on the bullets. The last bullet, minorities comprise 25% or more of the population in the annual. I've read this
Wow.
multiple times and I don't understand this statement. And since it only requires one of the criteria, one of the bullet items, can someone explain to me what that means?
One's about language and another one's about income.
So this is pulled directly from the Massachusetts State Environmental Justice Communities page where they describe how they define this. I think this is actually new. I think basically what they're saying is that if it's a tract with minority communities,
And it's, you pick one of the four. You don't have to have all of them, so.
Right. So
Okay.
I'm wondering if if there's a tract that comprises 25% minority communities, then they have a lower threshold to call it low income and minority, if that makes sense.
I don't, it says 150% of the statewide annual household income. I don't understand that statement.
Yeah, it's to be honest, I don't fully either. This, like I said, it came directly off of that
Whatever the number is.
website, and this is a new caveat that they've added recently, I think, related
it
to how
looks
they
to me-
define.
All it means is you've got a tract of the city that has more than 25% minorities, and the income of that tract also is less than 150% of the median state income.
That's it.
Well, the
It's
majority
not
of
well,
the
it's
city
not
is,
well written, but it's not.
I do not understand though. I guess, all right, it's not to argue. I guess you're right, John, but I think the majority of the city then is less than 150% of the statewide, and regardless of whether one is a minority.
But what they're trying to do is overlap the two.
You can use
And
it.
so, this is saying that you have both, minority and low income in the same spot.
Yeah,
Well, low income is not 150%,
Of the median income?
does not exceed 150%.
Of the statewide median income.
Right, Okay, I won't go, I just didn't, I still don't understand it, quite
Yeah.
honestly, but
It's,
Yeah.
it's the median, not the mean.
yeah, I know. Okay. All right,
So
you
can we
move
go back,
along.
can we go back to page 10, about the image that we have there?
Page 10.
The image of the one wind turbine.
This one is what you're looking at, right?
Okay, underneath, wind turbines in Gloucester credit Wikimedia. Is that I think that's variance, in which case that's not one of the ones that we really have. I mean, we had input in the beginning, but it's not one of the city of Gloucester's, and there's only one there and it says wind turbines. So it kind of bugged me. There's other images with all three that could be used there too. Just grab it and copy it into there instead.
Yeah,
It's just that, you know, when I look at it, wait a minute, that's not Gloucester's turbine, it's variance. And it's not a plural, anyway. It just-
correct.
So let's just get a different picture with all three.
Yeah, well, there's other ones, you can just reuse ones that are already in there.
Yeah.
Good.
Sounds good.
All right, any other comments on these before we get to the strategies, just these sort of like preliminary pages?
Not from me.
No,
All right, I'm gonna
Sounds like on to strategies.
down to the first strategy, sorry. Oops, I might have to do this. All right,
What page are we on now? I've got something on page,
so now we are at buildings.
What page number is that?
So for me, it's 28.
okay, that's the page. Okay, I have a comment.
Okay,
It's a little further down on the page, go down.
A little further down.
Huh. All right, I've got the wrong number written down. I give up.
Is it about buildings?
Was right in the beginning of the building section.
What was it related to?
Well, it's just that I noticed that Affordable Housing Trust in the first section, I think it must have been strategies, was all capitalized, which is correct. And then the very next line it's all small letters. So it's,
Okay, here, I think I can.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
if you wanted to, you know, mix and match or whatever, they're right next to each other.
Trust, okay. They're all tapped, I think now.
Good point.
Anything else for buildings?
I just have one general comment that'll be throughout for implementation partners. Maybe it's on purpose. CEC is not named anywhere that I noticed. So
That's-
we're complete with our responsibilities on this, or?
yeah, I thought that too.
Good point. I think we kind of left you off just because we consider you sort of the guiding force on this. And we also
Okay.
left off the mayor's office. I was thinking, it did cross my mind that maybe there's I think especially because of John's point that some of these are much more within the wheelhouse of the Clean Energy Commission. So maybe it would be worthwhile to add that.
Okay,
I think you
I-
should absolutely add them. They obviously do a lot of the vetting of projects as well, so I would agree with that 100%, Linda.
all right.
Me too.
Yep.
Okay, and then I just have a comment under B2. Funding sources, implementation partners is just a nit. It says engendering instead of, I guess, engineering.
oh, there it is, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
I will.
I said that last time and it didn't get changed, guys.
Oops.
Sorry about that. I remember
Oh,
you
did
saying
you?
that.
You didn't write it down.
That's why there's a second review.
Yep. All right.
Okay.
Anything else for buildings?
Not for me.
I wrote things down by page, so I'm not doing as well when you just say the section.
So let me tell you the pages for this one. It starts on page
Ooh.
28 and it goes to page,
Okay, I had something on page 29.
it goes to page 33. So we can look at 29.
Even remember what I was talking about at this point. Key steps, I put
29. And what was the comment?
29 in, can we go to where the key steps are?
Go to the next page, Gemma. It's
Oh,
on
yes, I
page
think we're
30.
one page.
Page 30,
Different
okay.
for some reason. Key next steps, yes.
The last one of key steps, just one question mark. I don't know what I even meant, but I meant something at the time. Sorry. I have-
Your second bullet there, you should capitalize affordable and housing as well.
Oh, there it is again.
Affordable,
Yeah, there it is again.
affordable housing. I'm gonna make that, whoops, red so I can check the rest of them as well. Any question marks there?
Oh,
All
I
right.
remember what it was. I'm trying to figure out where it is, but it was about, yeah, it was the step of building a multi affordable housing, multi-unit building or what, but it said just one. And can't we have more than one?
Mhm.
Work with Gloucester, and it was in implementation.
So I've got it down as page 29.
Gemma, it's the last bullet. It's the last bullet right there. And she's suggesting partner with willing developers to pilot affordable housing efficiency, low-income housing projects.
That's
So
it.
just plural.
Yes, thank you. Oh,
Yep.
Sorry about that.
Are you
And
also,
Gemma, if you could just blow it up a little tiny bit, it
A
might
little bit
be
more.
helpful. There we go.
Are you getting old, Greg?
No, I'm just thinking of everybody else that's looking at it. It might be on smaller screens. Gemma's screen is like this.
I'm just getting closer to the screen.
so
Yeah.
I apologize for
getting nasty here.
making your necks all lean in.
We're not old, we're middle-aged.
yeah,
Thank you,
staying on
John.
that same bullet, did you want a plural developer and delete a?
Yeah,
Yes, yep, willing developers with willing developers. Yep, and you can take out the, yep.
Willing developers to pilot affordable.
thank you. I thought I was losing my mind for a minute there.
So wait a minute, that sentence is not complete. You have to delete and.
Yeah, just delete and as well. So the pilot affordable, high efficiency, low income housing projects. So take out the and after
sorry.
pilot.
Good.
Very good.
Anything else, Linda, before 33, 34?
Um,
Page 33,
no.
34?
Nope.
All set? Okay. I'm gonna go to
Oh, I have on page 36.
36.
Are you up to that yet?
Not yet.
It's on.
Not yet, that's energy. So we're I think we're in the right place.
Here's the photo I was looking at. That could-
Yes, and I can put that photo.
Yeah, that would be
up there.
better. Better anyhow, there's three of them.
So was there any comments related to energy section?
I have a comment under E4 on my page 36. The first bullet point, the last part of that sentence, it says example include exception to EVs. Is exception the word you want?
No. As an example, include
I wasn't sure what you want.
yeah, I'm not sure either, actually. Include exposure. I think that's it.
Introduction or,
Introduction or exposure.
yeah,
Introduction's better than the word.
Inclusion.
exposure.
Include.
Introduction's good. Yeah.
Introduction.
I feel like more than introduction, you want to like integrate it into, right?
Yeah, maybe integrate.
Yeah.
Or how about just simply put include EV in shop classes?
That works.
Well, it's as example.
work on.
You could
EVs.
almost just say EVs in EV training and shop classes.
Perfect. Yeah.
And maybe we should put vocational classes.
And yes,
Yes.
that
Yes,
is
that's
much
right.
better.
Uh,
All right.
So at the beginning of B2, I noticed something that kind of carries through. Wherever there's something saying boards and commissions do such and such, the first one I noticed is city council is not a board or a commission or a committee. So that's technical, but
Yes, maybe I'll change the
but it says another place. it
header
looks like
here
committees,
to,
But it doesn't have commissions. I mean, it's just take a look at all of them and see if they make sense. But
maybe like city bodies or municipal.
City government,
yeah, what you've got is the city council, which is not the same. Then we have all these boards. And you also have commissions and you have committees. So just,
Municipal body sounds good.
great, that looks good.
yeah. Yeah, that's good.
Yep.
If it was boards and committees, it's like, hey, we're commissions. Yeah.
And so Linda, you're saying that throughout we should substitute municipal bodies wherever we say boards and just boards and committees.
Otherwise, half the time it's not right, including,
Yeah,
thought.
Okay,
All right, anything else on energy?
That's gonna
Existing-
take probably
Oh,
all the document, by the way.
I
Yes, I'm
have,
gonna go
oh,
through.
no. Yeah,
Sorry,
I have
Linda,
nothing
go
else
ahead.
on energy.
Anything else on energy? And just for reference, this is going up to page 39.
I'm sorry. I'm still trying to figure out where I am with the way I did my notes, but on page 35, I guess no, never mind that part. On page 36, we say work with good energy. Should we be that specific? I mean, maybe we should, but maybe we shouldn't because we might change consultants.
Good point.
Yeah, work with
aggregation consultant.
aggregation provider, is it that we usually say?
Yeah,
I think we've called it.
You can call them a consultant.
Yeah,
I think that works.
in someplace just before that, we have the opt-in stretch code. Effective 2023. Is this really true? Do we know? How did that get messed up?
Let me search 2023. Yeah, that was just in the goal originally, but I think that might not be true. So maybe we just
I don't think.
say
Might
Just
be.
leave it out.
when it becomes effective. Would you like to say?
Yeah,
Or?
I think let's just put that clause in when it becomes effective.
Yeah, when it becomes effective.
what page is that, folks?
It's B6. How about that?
It's in the building section. It's one we already covered.
Okay, that's why I got lost.
Yeah.
6.
And then back to energy. Was there anything left in energy?
No.
All right. And then the next one is,
Is that Cape Cod? Cape Cod is not Cape Cod. Or is that, no, that's page 59. Sorry. I'll say it again at page 59.
okay, yes, I know where you're talking about, I think.
Cape Cod. It's better than engendering department.
Yeah.
Maybe not. I kind of like that.
I don't know. These days, you never know.
That's right. That may be just right.
All right, so wait, we didn't skip one, did we? Yep, we just we're on energy and now natural resources. So this is starting on page 40.
Okay. First paragraph, again, it's a nit, a spelling thing. It's the, I guess, second to last sentence. On an aggregate scale, Gloucester's existing, you have dense forests, I guess you mean dense. forest, I would take off the plural,
Forest
dense
should be
forest
singular.
area. That's all I had there. Yeah, we're not,
And I'll just tell you what the final page of this is, so if anybody's going by page numbers. So this goes up to page 43. Anything else on natural resources before I move on?
What are the yellow
these-
highlights? Are those Bob's things?
oh, that
Yes, this
answered
was
my
Bob's.
question.
Okay.
Right.
And I think it sounded like,
Page,
oh, sorry, go ahead.
Just, he's asking a question.
oh, just to go back to Bob Meyer's comment on the end of page 43, are you up to that?
Yeah,
Protecting the harbor from flooding. It talks about Gloucester first and foremost, a fishing community.
Yeah, it
Mhm.
really is in here.
Okay,
Yeah.
I just noticed that, okay.
So then can we move on to infrastructure?
yep.
All right, anything for infrastructure? And this is starting on page 44.
So Gemma, I think with the couple of tweaks that you did with Bob, the one that
Or
you're
one page off.
projecting is about a page off. So that might help Linda, because I know she did it very much page by page.
Thank you.
Are we a page behind? I wonder if it would help if I did that.
Yeah, if you do that, no, now you're 2 pages ahead.
Now I'm 2, yeah. That didn't help.
I was winding down by now on this anyway. Some
So
of the,
just try to, I guess, identify by either, a heading or something like that in addition.
Yep.
Okay, so we are on infrastructure.
it's the fishing-
Infrastructure, yeah.
Okay, I have a comment here for I7, that it's the same as NR1. So in one case, it's
7.
priority, and the other it's not. NR1.
Develop infrastructure in new developments and major renovations, and NR1. Let me go back to that.
NR1, incentivize the incorporation. Again, I read this one, develop average. Okay, well, almost the same, yes, except for the words incentivize the incorporation. I don't know, that's,
Yeah. I'm trying to think back on what our conversation was around that.
okay, it's not a deal killer or anything, it's just I made that note, I kind of remember reading it twice.
Well, there's overlap.
Yeah, I
The
think,
thing is that it's in one case, it's at the bottom of the list of strategies, and the other, it's the top strategy.
I don't think that matters really because,
Okay.
it
Mhm.
depends on how you categorize it.
Yep, all right.
I mean, I see. The I7 one is really about outreach materials. And so that's, I think maybe we looked at that as a lower sort of thing because of the, just the whole production process of developing materials for folks. And the other one is trying to do more to drive developers and get the infrastructure built as opposed to just educating folks about it. And maybe that's why it's a lower priority in the infrastructure section.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
yeah, I mean, I think there was some of these that could have gone, you know, either way, like this could even potentially go into buildings.
Sure.
So, you know, it is kind of similar to the other one. I don't know if it would be helpful just as a reader of this plan to put it in the natural resources.
You could just
Section.
say, I would just, at the end of that sentence, Gemma, just say -CNR1.
And I'm going to add something to number 17 when you're ready.
Yes, number 7. Oh, I7, this one.
Yeah, where you're at. So in the parentheses, you got permeable pavement, green roofs, walls, bioswales, tree planting, include compost use.
Can I say composting?
Composting and
parallel.
compost use, they're two different things.
Okay, compost use.
Yeah. And you put a comma. Yep. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
Anything else in infrastructure?
Nope.
And mobility? That's starting on page
Um,
48, or it might be 47 for you guys.
47, yeah.
I have on 48 in the block for a ride around Gloucester for just $2. It says, did you know for just, first I
yeah.
read it real quick and I thought 25 cents a trip, but I think it
thought
went,
$2, but then my glasses
Yeah.
are for me.
that's all. But it,
Oh yeah, I
Lyft,
think Bob
but
caught that
yeah.
one actually.
it's a bit like Uber or Lyft, but it, and then the very last sentence in that block, it's a bit like Uber or Lyft, but it is public transit.
Oh, good.
And then I think if you scroll back up, you had 40% and you use the percent sign instead of the word percent. So just to be consistent throughout the document, either go with the word percent or go with the symbol. I think it's the next page up. I saw it.
I'm guessing around here, right?
Yeah.
40. And I think I'm gonna make that red to check for that.
Okay. And then
Any
there was
in,
senior. Where did I see seniors on the go? Okay,
here?
yep, that's great. Should the also be, is that one big program, seniors on the go?
Yeah,
Between the word on and go, yeah. The, on the go, yeah,
oh yeah.
yeah, that'd be cool. That's a great program. I'll use it eventually.
I don't know if they'll come up then and Sterling, I don't know. Whatever.
Not that much to drive downtown now.
Okay. So otherwise, I don't want to keep, M1, under key next steps, the second bullet. Maybe I'm reading it again wrong, and it says, and develop a plan for distributed EV charging station network. I wasn't sure what a distributed EV charging station network was.
This is under M1 on next steps.
Key next step, second bullet.
Identify priority locations for EV charging stations and develop a plan for a distributed EV charging station network. I think that just means distributed across space.
Okay.
Maybe delete distributed.
Sorry, what
Yeah,
was
I
that?
never heard of a distributed EV charging station.
Yeah, just delete that word. It sounds good.
Distributed is a term that they use in utility stuff
Right, like,
for that,
Mhm.
but yeah, whatever.
right.
And then this would be,
Yeah. Cool.
Take out the N in an for unev. Oh, never mind. NEV. Sorry. When you say E though.
English.
this was one actually that Bob had added that I thought would be a good one to keep in, explore portable charger and street electricity eaves monopolizing parking spots by EV only uses. That was one that came up in some of our public outreach, so I thought that would be an okay one to add if you all are okay with that.
I don't know what that is.
I've not seen portable chargers.
No.
I'm not sure about the portable charger piece, but I think I was actually gonna say utility.
I mean, it never came up in discussions, did it? We have the polls already, yeah.
So maybe we just say explore utility pole charging options.
Well,
Yeah,
that's mentioned somewhere else.
Oh, is it?
Yes, it's because it says.
right where you
tele-
are. Yeah, right where you are, the last bullet out right where you are.
Yep. there.
Oh, okay. So maybe we do take this out.
Yeah,
Is it a utility pole? Is that the idea? And isn't it?
Yeah, the idea is the charging comes from the utility poles so that you don't
isn't
take
pole-
up a spot with a.
That's how Rockport did them, right?
I'm
believe.
not sure, but
Where are
I
you
think
saying?
so.
Where is it already included?
Isn't
Right
telephone,
above under improving equity.
Improving equity.
It's really pole mounted, but I think that's all Rockport has.
Oh, yeah, I see it.
Telephone pole.
pole is not spelled right.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
I'm sure that, wait, let's see.
It may not be a telephone pole, it's
That's
pole
what I'm saying. It's
mounted.
a
yeah, they're
pole,
utility poles.
P-O-L-E.
The
Sorry,
last bullet,
I'm looking for where that was.
where you are,
Underneath your cursor.
improving equity,
Just lower
Under
your mouse
improving
one line.
equity,
Improving equity.
the last bullet.
last bullet,
There it is. Whoop, you went,
Oh.
whoop.
up one. Oh,
Telephone
last
pole.
bullet on that page, on page 49.
Got it.
So call it utility pole.
Yeah, telephone pole is old fashioned, isn't it?
Yeah, everybody's got cell phones.
But they still have some utility.
They do.
They're pole mounted. Doesn't
Pole-
matter.
And consider adopting pole mounted,
You were, okay,
utility pole mounted,
no. I think it was okay.
adopting utility
Nothing,
pole
just
mounted,
utility.
Yeah, sure, whatever. There we go.
EV chargers to reduce the drain on parking. Okay. I don't know that this would even be possible, but this was one that Bob had suggested of having an app for payment that would be able to choose 100% green electricity
Oh my God.
through the aggregation.
That would depend on who develops the charger. So if it was a city, like charging device, then you could choose where the electricity comes from, maybe.
This is for aggregation, isn't it? Oh, I see. Never
The
mind.
city
But
doesn't own these poles.
Maybe we should add a sentence, consider the source of electricity for EV charging.
Yeah, I mean, the
Yeah.
city doesn't even, they belong to the utilities. That's the utility poles.
yes, and whoever develops the EV charger is basically the broker for the electricity for the EV charger. So I don't know, but I would assume that you could possibly explore that.
With
But
with National Grid. Probably, that's how,
You're getting to,
yeah, well, or take it out.
I mean,
Okay to
renewables,
consider.
yeah, the charging stations can be powered as example by solar panels. So I wouldn't even put that in there. I
Yeah,
don't get,
You think it's already in there?
yeah,
yeah,
Okay.
okay.
okay, and
And
then,
then I would
ahead.
like to comment, it says right there, improved air quality. More importantly, well, alongside air quality, reducing greenhouse gas emissions.
and that's throughout, Deb, because everyone says improved air quality, but it doesn't mention greenhouse gas emission.
Are EV cars really going to reduce acid rain?
So this was a suggestion from Bob that I put in there. And then I would say the reason we didn't include that was because we were thinking of these as co-benefits. So those benefits that are outside of the direct impact, the greenhouse gas emissions impact.
Okay, but I wouldn't agree with calling out then acid rain onshore Gulf of Maine. I mean, there could be all kinds of effects.
Just to leave it as improved air quality. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Also maybe noise reduction, vehicle noise reduction. I mean, I don't know.
Anybody else have a thought about adding that in? Sound okay as
I
a,
think that sounds okay, because that is true. Electric cars are quiet
Well, especially the school buses
and noise is NOISE.
do that.
There we go.
maybe I'll say potential. Sorry, you're seeing my terrible spelling now. Potential.
just fine.
All right, anything else inside of mobility?
What's the sessional, wait a minute, sessional and tourist population? Would that they only were sessions.
Seasonal.
One session, you get one weekend.
We did it justice.
Seasonal.
Okay.
That was an addition by Bob, if that makes sense to all of you.
It's seasonal, it's gotta be.
Seasonal.
Yeah, it's gotta be.
SEASONAL.
Yes, that.
There you go. Seasonal and tourist population. Increase.
We can measure if people charging their EV as tourists.
Who's going to measure a lot of this was my question on one of these, but
Yeah, so some of these you might be able to measure with hard data, and some of it you might be able to measure anecdotally. Like if, you see if we put charging stations at a tourist location and you see a lot of folks using
Activity
it in the high
summer,
season.
but then it could be just normal resident activity in the summer, but yeah, whatever, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
Some of these
find-
are more sort of
Aspirational.
aspirational, and also, what can we see in the community or anecdotally hear from the community, and some of them we can really track.
all right.
All right, move on to.
I do have an M3 under measures of success. The second bullet, decreased number of bike and pedestrian injuries, excuse me. And you probably wanted
Oh,
fatalities, but I do, and
Oh
somewhere
my
else, all
God.
right, but somewhere else fatalities comes up with the emergencies. Do we really have fatalities in this?
We could.
Okay,
Well-
I know, it just says
Yeah,
decreased number as though we have, a dozen a year. I don't think we have.
and avoid fatalities.
Avoid, perfect.
yeah, because we did have bicycle fatalities on in Essex last year.
Mhm. Yeah, it'll happen, it's just,
Increased percentage of biking, kayaking, and walking mode share. How do you walk mode share?
Oh dear.
I think this was put in there by Van, and I think my understanding of that is it's basically sort of how people divide their time across different modes of transportation. Francelis, you might be able to speak to this one as well, and as to what was meant by that.
Yeah, I also think she meant modes of transportation. But I can also bring that to Van, just in case.
Kayaking as transportation.
The
Yes,
greasy pole.
this was one that put kayaking in for all of these as a mode of anywhere where there was a mode of transportation. I don't know if the Clean Energy Commission would like to include that as, one way that people can possibly get around.
People could kayak to the beach rather than driving and parking there.
I
Don't
think
know how
we-
they were gonna do that.
I do it all the time.
On that, in general, my comment is, then you can't get into an entire laundry list of possibilities. Kayaking, boating, I mean, there's canoe, paddle boarding.
Skateboarding.
Yeah. We get the message. We don't have to list them all.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I was just being a pain.
So maybe we'll take out kayaking and keep it to sort of more street-based modes of transportation.
Correct.
But, you know, also recognizing that in Gloucester, there is water-based modes of transportation that people are utilizing, clearly.
Yeah. I mean, I would kayak across Smith Cove to get to the studio.
What's the word for non-fuel using?
Now, if we had a ferry service. that
And
would
what,
be-
Gemma, why don't we use the term multimodal
Yeah,
there? And that's just sort of a generic term that you can get to for all of those things.
Mm.
Alternative modes of transportation,
Yeah,
multimodal there instead of alternative modes of transportation.
yeah, sure.
yeah.
Other,
Yeah, that's good. Is that how you spell segue? Probably, huh?
No idea.
I don't either.
I can look it up just to be sure.
You know how the other word segue is spelled, sort of. Yeah, look it up. Good idea.
I've got a couple I gotta look up.
What about
Alright.
horseback?
I think, yes, I think probably we've realized through this conversation that multimodal is good because we could list modes of transportation all day long.
But it's concise and there.
Thank you for that, John. Anything else for mobility before I move on?
Under city departments, if you have planning, DPW, health, should that be Board of Health
No, there's a health department too.
or Health Department? Okay, city departments, okay, yep.
You know, Board of Health is different than the health department, I think.
It
Yep.
is, yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, so then can I,
Really good. We're gonna have a glossary.
I'm gonna take out kayak. I'll fix that because that's all related to the kayak stuff.
Never want to hear that word again.
Solid waste.
Yes,
I don't know why it's, well, solid waste resources.
I have,
you probably don't need resources because solid waste is solid waste.
Yeah, I don't think we had that. I don't know how that got there.
You could, if you wanted to put solid waste management, but you do have solid waste management programs in Gloucester. So solid waste is probably a good heading.
Yeah,
Yep.
we all know
Like that.
that phrase.
Anything for solid waste? Any last edits or comments on how we had made edits here?
okay, I have under the solid waste management programs in Gloucester, the second to the last line, implementing strategies to reduce and divert waste and ultimate getting to zero waste ultimately, I guess.
Ultimately,
I think Bob might have got that one.
Yeah,
Okay.
And, okay,
Anything else for solid waste before I move on?
Nope, I don't.
All right,
so,
Oh, yes.
no, yeah, I was just, that's all right.
go back.
The key next, where did I see that key?
next steps.
Key next steps. Conduct a solid waste baseline and establish a waste diversion goal. What we call that, if you conduct a solid waste baseline, that's a waste characterization.
Waste characterization study.
Yeah. And then you can establish the waste diversion goal.
And establish waste. All
Mhm,
right,
good.
Yeah,
all right. Solid waste, I think we're all set. Correct me if I'm wrong. Social resilience. Anything in social resilience?
Social resilience, it says high quality health care. Does everybody have access to health care?
No,
So having high quality health care is great, but everybody needs access to health care.
Should we just put the word access here?
yeah,
Access to high quality healthcare.
All right. Anything else in social resilience? I'll scroll.
Under, under SR1, bottom measures of success. That's where again, it says reduced fatalities in the event of emergencies. So I was gonna suggest, either calls to the police. In other words, if they have neighborhood groups that they can rely on, they don't have to call the police, the ambulance, the fire department. I didn't know how you wanted to word. But I don't remember reading, about fatalities necessarily as a measure of success. If it's
Maybe reduce fatalities or injuries or injuries.
Injuries helps.
well, I mean, are you aware of fatalities that are reported during these, let's say a snowstorm or power outage?
I think that that's a potential. Maybe you
I
don't
know
have,
it's well, it says reduced fatalities as though we have them and you're
How
gonna
about
measure
just-
the success by going from 10.
Minimize.
I can't minimize.
minimize.
Minimize potential for fatalities.
There we go.
Yeah, there
Excellent,
you go.
all right.
Also, in the point above the one that you just fixed, if you say formalized or organized groups, do you mean, should we drop the D off the word formalized?
Keep it,
So
Yeah.
that they're both active verbs?
yeah,
Here.
yeah.
Sorry, where is that in Nick?
Right.
Measures of
The
success,
first
point
measure
one,
of success, Gemma.
Formalize.
drop the D.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good.
there you go.
All right. Anything else inside of social resilience?
There goes that thing about the boards and committees and commissions and all.
Yes, I'm going to change that on all of them.
We're
Yeah.
gonna go right through it. Okay.
There's the Cape Cod.
There it is.
Oh, you already got it.
Yeah,
Well, I said it a while ago, but I'm excited to see it being fixed.
Cape Cod Commission. There we go. All right. Social resilience. And next steps, and that is the entire document. Any overarching last
Well
comment,
done.
or can we put this to bed as with those little changes that I still have to make all set and all ready to go for public comment?
Can I ask one question? And I don't think it's gonna change the document, but I just wanted to know, going back to solid waste,
Yes.
the very first where it says solid waste management program in Gloucester. And it says weekly curbside trash and recycling for single family, multifamily, paren, 4 apartment max. I'm just curious, what happens to, like is there recycling and how do they do recycling for something like Gloucester Crossing area there?
so that would, those are commercial entities and they have to hire their own private service.
Got it. Okay, I was just curious
Although,
myself. I didn't know.
no, you're talking about the Halyard, the apartment complex.
Mhm.
I don't know how, but I'm going to assume that they also have to hire a private contractor to pick up the dumpster that is in some sort of a communal
Accessible
location.
location for them, yeah.
Yeah,
So So even something like on Main Street, the Harbor Village is it called in that, which I think is more than 4 unit apartments. I mean, do they encourage or do they have a recycling program?
Oh,
Oh.
you know what?
Recycling is mandatory statewide.
Got it.
You know
Okay.
what, on Harper Village, which Action owns, it's 30 units, but I just got the word that solar is going in on the roof.
Oh, good.
And it is passive house, so they probably are dealing with waste pretty well too.
Right, it's just an
One of our-
example.
Yeah.
They're actually one of our
Right.
cases.
I just was reminded to tell everybody, guess what? They've got solar going in.
Yeah.
Okay.
And since you're here, it says the city of Gloucester offers weekly curbside trash and recycling collection service for single family.
Yes.
Gloucester offers weekly curbside trash and recycling collection service.
Oh,
Well, and they have compost, they have the compost pile up behind my house too. I mean, there's a lot that the city does do.
Yeah, the Dogtown
Yeah,
composting facility is for residential yard debris only.
yeah, but I mean, there are, it's not like it does everything, but it certainly does stuff.
Okay.
all right.
Hazardous waste, it does, you know, days for hazardous waste.
So I think then we are, I'm going to just find stop share. And
We all are.
one thing we might want to do, Candace, is set the next meeting. And then I think we're done.
Okay,
Um,
now,
Is there
we've
one
had-
last final review before it goes out for public comment, just for like a clean read, a clean version read through?
So we don't have that scheduled. I would say the version that goes out for public comment, we can possibly send it all to you to take a look at beforehand, but the major edits, I think we should have in the public sphere and be pretty much wrapped up at this point. That's my hope timeline
Yeah,
wise.
I would guess that anything that we would find are going to be largely grammatical or editorial things, and that's probably okay for the public to comment on too.
Good, okay.
So like I said at the beginning, this will be getting, prettied up with some graphic design. The folks at MAPC are working on that, and they also will be looking for spelling and grammar mistakes as well. So those kinds of little things that really aren't pertinent to the content of the plan. There will be some more eyes on that, but in terms of the actual content of the plan, I think that the version we have now will be what goes out for public comment.
I think it's great.
I do too.
Nice job.
I
Bravo
agree.
for the plan. Let me just note that at the moment that we have no attendees, we just have the panelists, the 9 of us that are shown as panelists. So I'm not ignoring public comment. It's just that there won't be any tonight.
I think
Excellent.
the public has probably had quite enough of it.
Yes,
Okay, okay already.
possibly.
I gotta tell you, last night's sunset was so beautiful. I can only imagine that everybody's outside enjoying the weather.
Doesn't that
Yes.
sound nice?
So let's do the same.
Yes, exactly.
Hey, guys, I have one last small request that came into me was, would the CEC like to have the Clean Energy Commission name on a lifeboat that will be, and it's a sort of a lifeboat sign that will be in the Horribles Parade on Sunday, the 3rd of July. And I
we
didn't
have
want
to
to say
walk?
yes to that without asking you. Does anybody mind if the CEC is shown as one of the lifeboats?
I mean, great.
Wait, whose float is it?
It's a group of floats that the Cape Ann Climate Group is doing, the CACC.
Fine by me.
They're gonna,
What's the satirical message?
it's left to individual interpretation.
Yes.
Yeah, now you have
None
to
of our names will be on it, right?
No, just Clean Energy Commission. The idea that we're one of the lifeboats.
Yeah,
For,
that sounds good.
is that
Yeah,
okay with you guys?
And that way on Sunday, you're supposed to all stand in front of the rum line, and when that float goes by,
Cheer.
clap and cheer as loud as possible.
I'll do that. I just won't march in the parade.
Well,
Are you in the parade, Candace?
Not that I know of.
Oh, okay, because they were looking for volunteers.
I
Oh, I
know.
thought you might like to sit in our boat.
I think the vote is simply a paper sign that looks like a boat with our name on the side of it, and there'll be several other boats,
have at it.
organizations or,
As long as it's not a Confederate flag on one of them.
yeah. Oh, I hope not.
It's great promotion.
Okay. Very good. Now, so back to the date of our next meeting. We've been working with Wednesdays during the course of this participation with MAPC. And should we continue with, it used to be in our old days, the fourth Thursday of the month. We could go now to the, whatever this is, the fourth
The last
Wednesday
of the month.
of the month. Is, would the fourth Wednesday of the month at 6 PM be a good, sort of a norm for us to continue with from now on?
The fourth Wednesday?
Yeah, so would that be when, July 29th?
Yeah, I guess
27th.
that's what that would lead to.
So I actually have a hold there, so I think we might have
It's-
talked about that.
It would be the, excuse me, it would be the 30
27.
27th.
27th,
Yeah.
Wednesday, 27th.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
July 27th. We couldn't probably do that because we have open space and recreation committee that
Okay.
week. So I think so I'm looking at my calendar. We have a hold, we must have talked about this before because we have a hold on the 29th. So can we confirm the 29th? Does that work
That's-
for folks?
that's a
Of July,
Friday.
that's a
That's a
Friday.
Friday.
Wednesday, the 29th.
Today's.
Oh,
Wednesday,
I'm sorry. It's actually August. It's
Okay.
August
It's
20
August.
August 3rd.
CEC members, how do you feel about, having no July meeting and having an August meeting?
That's fine. August 3rd is fine.
Yeah,
Fine by
that's
me.
okay.
I'm not sure if I can attend August 3rd. I have out of town guests the whole week.
Okay,
And maybe
I can, if it works out, I will. I can't
Okay.
commit though.
does Wednesday, August 3rd look okay to others?
Yes.
Yes.
Works for me.
Fine.
Okay, so we'll call it Wednesday, August 3rd.
And Candace, I would suggest that maybe, but before, by the time we meet on August 3rd, we'll kind of take a look at our schedules. We've had a number of efforts with different boards and committees that have been a little bit more intense over the last 3 to 4 months.
Yep.
And so for some reason, because we have so much on Thursday nights, we started moving a lot into the Wednesday night arena.
Mhm.
So maybe we can kind of regroup on that, the 3rd, and really try to figure out a more regular time for you guys to meet that
Okay,
one or both of us will be available, or potentially new staff available to help staff your meetings.
excellent. Well, thank you very much. And I don't believe there's anything we need to vote on other than a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
I'll second it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will roll call vote this thing. Let's start with Deborah Darby. Do you agree to adjourn?
I agree. To adjourn.
Linda Stout Saunders,
Yes, I adjourn.
Sam
Yes.
Thurgabel, John Moskell,
Aye.
Greg, you weren't on the commission, Candace Wheeler, I, and let me go to the.
You got one more.
let's see, who did I miss? There
Linda.
you are, Linda Brayton.
aye.
All right. Well, thank you to all of you for all the work on review. The plan is really, really a stupendous achievement,
It is.
and I'm proud to be associated with you all.
And thanks,
So thank you.
Gemma. Good
Thanks
job.
for the good work, everyone. Have a great weekend.
Yeah, you
So
are.
Bye. Happy 4th.
Bye, guys.
Yeah.
Happy 4th.
Oh, 4th, yeah, okay. Bye.